Stories of people with Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Mine started surprisingly after I had my second child. I suddenly started suffering migraines with terrific auras. The auras then started to bleed into my everyday life, becoming what my doctor called one continuous, uncontrolled migraine. At first, we didn't know what was going on, and this is rarely diagnosed. But I started to feel like the world was behind Saran wrap. When I would touch it, it would bend and shape where my finger was. It would do this at random wherever I looked. It came to a breaking point when I was driving home from an appointment. I had to pull over because I could feel my body growing too large for my car. I sat on the side of the road and cried because I had come to the conclusion that I was indeed going crazy. The thought hadn't occurred to me before, and it was starting to come to that point. I was so scared for my children because I wanted them to have a mother who wasn't insane. Incredibly, my phone rang while I was picking up rocks and marveling how huge I was. It was my doctor's office. She wanted me to come in the following day because she believed that some new medication would help, and she wanted to talk to me about a general diagnosis along with my migraine situation. Thus, my Alice in Wonderland syndrome diagnosis came about. I had them as a child too and didn't know what Alice in Wonderland syndrome until a few years ago. On a few separate occasions, Reiki volunteers would come by and give me a session. And the first one, I immediately went deep into Alice in Wonderland syndrome, the first time I'd been there in 20 years or so. Spatial distance had no value that made any sense. Objects were either too close and smothering, or too far away to ever reach. Sizes and sounds acted the same way. At first I freaked out, then I told myself I was just in this meditation, and if I opened my eyes it would stop. So there was nothing to worry about. Unlike my childhood experiences where there is no way to make it stop. So although I was relaxed, I didn't make much sense of the experience and it didn't last too long. Days later, a second practitioner came in. This time, I was ready to fully embrace it. As soon as he touched my forehead, I felt my eyes roll up into my head, as if I were looking up through my brain. Never felt that before or since. The Alice in Wonderland started again, and I started to focus on the shifting physical impossibilities. I was feeling the room around me shifting from a vacuum-sealed coffin to an empty universe. One or the other, never in between, and never normal. Then I had an epiphany that both extremes were true at the same time, that I was in an empty universe and at the same time totally confined. This led to thinking that neither were true. Sounds were deeply loud and whispers at the same time. This brought everything into balance, and I realized that I was not in a physical place at all. Thank you for following me down the rabbit hole to my wonderland. This is the end of my presentation. I hope you liked it.